Hey you guys, welcome back to Angel Angela, and on this topic I wanted to come on here and talk to you guys real quick about how narcissists will always take more than what is given to them. The narcissist will always take more than what is given to them, meaning that they don't care about your generosity, they don't care about your gifts. They want more than what you're giving. They want more, whatever it is you're giving them. It doesn't matter if it's finances, sex, they want more. It's never enough. It's never enough when it comes to a narcissist. They don't care about exploiting you. It's never enough. When I say the narcissist will always take more than what's given, you have to understand that a narcissist does not care about what they do to you once the relationship is over. The narcissist does not care about what you went through in your life before you met them. So if you're coming to this person sharing your deepest, darkest secrets, all they're doing is taking, they're taking so that later on, they can use these things against you. So when you're telling them your past, they're just taking in this information and they're planning on using this information that you're giving to them to literally take, to take from you, to take more than what you're giving them, So you're giving them information, you're telling them, hey, this is what I want, these are my goals, this is what I want in a relationship. And they're thinking to themselves based off of what you shared with them that not only are they going to meet those expectations and goals, but they're going to take those things from you. They're going to take more than what they can get. If the narcissist, is able to just stuff their pockets and run away, and, they're that person that's digging in the cookie jar. They're taking more, they're asking you, hey, can I just get some of your Cheetos? And, and they're going and putting a handful in there. They're saying, hey, can I get a bite out of your food? The narcissist is chugging your food down. You're like, hey, I don't have a problem sharing, but you're like chugging my food. You're eating my food before I even get the first bite out of my birthday cake. You're eating up my birthday cake. You won't even let me get the first bite. They're always taking more than what more than what you're willing to give them, So anytime anyone is giving the narcissist any fuel, they're thinking to themselves, I'm going to be able to get fuel out of this person forever. So any person that does something nice for this person is thinking, I'm going to be able to use them in the future. I'm going to be able to take more from them because they're showing me that they're good people. You're just being nice to them. You're going to Starbucks. You give, you come back there. You give your coworkers some Starbucks. You give people some, you give your best friend or one of your closest friends, you pay for their Starbucks. And they're just thinking to themselves, how can I get more? How can I use you more? Anytime they're meeting new people, they're already thinking in their mind what they're going to use that person for, meaning that when they met you and you were sharing things, they were already premeditating to take from you. They were already analyzing what is it that you do have and what can they exploit you for. So one thing that I always say is that narcissists are takers. So this is something that you have to continuously remind yourself when you're dealing with, just anyone. It's that a narcissist is a taker. So a lot of times, you'll see in friendships, in relationships that, sometimes your friend pays, sometimes you pay. And when you run across narcissistic people, you'll see that they'll behave the same way with their relatives, with their friends, and they'll kind of compete with each other or say, hey, no, last time, I got you this, last time I got you that. It's arguments over the smallest things. There's times where you might tell the narcissist, hey, I just bought a box of pizza, share this with your siblings, and they're like, no, I'd rather let the pizza go cold than give it to them or feed it to the dog. This is someone that is willing to keep track of everything to the point where they won't give just to give. They'll keep things from you just because of the simple fact that they don't want to be generous. So narcissists are the type of people that will get you to volunteer to do things, and that's from my experience. They will get you to do things. They will volunteer to do things. They will try to get you to volunteer to do things with them. And you're thinking, oh, we're just making the world a better place, right? And the whole time, the narcissist is getting paid for it. People are telling the narcissist, once they meet you and they see how hardworking and how much, of a good personality you have, and they'll start telling the narcissist, hey, did you pay so-and-so? I gave you guys enough money for both of you guys. The narcissist knew they were going to get something out of it, and they will secretly not tell you while you're doing the work. And most of the time without you wouldn't have been able to do what you had to do in the first place. So these are the type of people that will use you to do things, and then they'll get paid for it and won't even tell you. There's also, situations where you'll see that, you'll do something, you'll do a favor for someone, and the person's really not paying you what the favor is for, but you're willing to do it. You want people to feel good. You want people to feel their best. So you'll do something out of the kindness of your heart. You'll basically take it as, tips or something. You'll put out information. You'll put this person, up on a opportunity where they can make more money even, right? That person might be, generous enough to tell you that, this is all they're willing to give you. They might give you something that you might not use, or you might tell them, hey, you keep that for yourself. You might tell that person to keep that for themselves. The narcissist, especially if they're in a relationship with you, they're the kind of person to make a big deal. They feel like that person is exploiting you, right? So when they feel like someone is using you or exploiting you, what they tend to do is make you believe that they're on your side. They're not going to let people mess with you or use you, mistake your kindness for weakness. So they bully the other person to get what they want out of that person or what they feel you deserve. And if a lot of times they do manage to bully stuff out of people, and people will give it to them, so then the narcissist is basically like, see, I told you that person was trying to play you. They could have helped you out, but they wanted to take more than you were willing to they wanted to take more than they could, than they knew that they could actually give you, So what the narcissist does is that they flip it, but now they're taking what you didn't even want to begin with. So this is why I say the narcissist will always take more than you're willing to give, meaning that every time the narcissist tries to point out to you that people are taking advantage of you, and a lot of times people are just exchanging with you, exchanging energies with you. You probably have friends that you're like, hey, they do for me, I do for them. But now the narcissist has took it to a diabolical level, and they're basically messing with people so that they can get something out of it. Even the thought of them looking like the hero is them getting something out of it, because now you're like, I don't need this person. And then you're feeling like you need to do a favor for the narcissist for having your back. So that's what's so sinister about these people, is that they're constantly taking more than what you're willing to give them, and they do it in a way where, you won't even notice until it's done. So a lot of times you'll tell yourself, oh, maybe it's because they don't have a good relationship, or maybe because they're not on good terms. You'll say a lot of things to yourself, but think about all the times that the narcissist or people around you have made you mad, pissed you off, but it's still not in you to sit there and eat in front of people, or like, you don't want to build jealousy in anyone, right? So what the narcissist does when they take more than you're willing to give is that they'll even start buying things and almost trying to brag about it. So once they've taken enough from you, now they're being boastful. Now they're showing you that they've been saving money all along, and you're sitting there like, wow, I've been giving my last, pouring my last, and you were saving money all along. So, they'll trigger you and they'll laugh about it and joke in your face and make it seem like they didn't have the ability to help you then. And, and now they definitely can't because they just spent, the last of what they have. So here they go again, trying to use you again. So now they're showing you what they have because they don't have another choice but to show you the things that they have, because you're going to eventually catch on. So now they have to make you believe that things are bad once again. Analyze, is this person here for you when you really need to talk, when you really need a friend? Do they give good advice? Does it seem like when they give me, advice, things always go wrong for me, almost as if I was supposed to pick the opposite of what they were saying? Is this person, what place does this person play in my life? Is it helping me build myself, or is it bringing me down? Are they just frozen in my life? Thinking that, they're just here for a good time. So you have to, make sure you pay attention to these acts. So take your advice, because narcissists are takers. Sometimes they will take your advice. A lot of times, they'll take your life advice about many things, whether it's work, finances, whatever, spirituality, how to treat people, how to be a better person, how to be a giver. A lot of times you're that balance in their life because they don't have the common sense to be good, because they're always thinking about taking. So a lot of times they'll take your advice and then they'll treat you like you're dumb. They'll treat you like you don't know what you're talking about. They'll even devalue and discard you sometimes because they're not willing to take your advice like a small child, throwing a tantrum and they're upset. But when they realize that your advice was useful, they won't give you credit for it. They'll take your advice, and then when good things happen based off of your advice, sometimes they'll share these things with you, and you'll remind them like, hey, I told you this, and they won't give you any credit. They're takers. They'll take your information. They'll copy the good qualities about you that helps them be a better person to get away with stuff. So a narcissist will take more than what is given by being sneaky. So you're not expecting this person to be sneaky. You feel like you have a good, friendship, family, whatever it is, relationship you have with this person. So you tend to not watch this person as much because you confine on them. You confine with them. You know that they're always willing to help. They're a good sport. But you don't know that they're very sneaky. So the moment you see that they do something sneaky, like you tell them to do something, they do the opposite. They tell you they're going to do something, and then you find them somewhere they're not supposed to be, or you find them touching something they weren't supposed to be touching. You find them walking around, wandering around, snooping around. You find them taking pictures and videos and doing things. They're premeditating things. They're very, very sneaky people. They might even take a gift back that they gave you. So that's what I mean with narcissists will always take more than what's given, because now you're giving them hospitality, you're giving them a nice cooked dinner, and now this person's wandering around stealing, exchanging stuff, borrowing things without your permission. They're thinking to themselves, you should have wrote down a contract. They already know in their mind that you should have done certain things. A lot of times they'll try to get you to do things that are illegal. So if you have something that you have to get done and you're like, man, I'm willing to do anything to get this done, and after this, your intentions aren't, your intentions aren't to just be greedy and you're trying to take. You really have to get this done, and it's very important. It's very critical. The narcissist will always be sneaky and try to make it seem like they're going to help you, and they'll use opportunities where they can get a hold of your money or your finances. They'll use opportunities where they can get a hold of your goods and then won't give them back, because you should have never been doing that in the first place. You should have never been doing something you weren't supposed to do in the first place. So narcissists are very sneaky because they try to get you to do things that you don't even want to do. They'll make you feel like it's a good idea to do it, and then they'll take from you right underneath your nose, and they'll tell you that it wasn't them, it was someone else, it was a different person, it was a different company, they'll blame it on other people, and then it will be to the point where you can't, something's up, but you really can't prove it. So if you can't prove something, and you just kind of trusted the narcissist to do it, then the narcissist will continue to deny that they took from you, and they're counting what they're taking from you. So the narcissist will always take more than what is given to them, and then they'll count whatever it is that they're taking from you, and they're kind of like putting a little stick on the wall, like, oh, another point for me, crisscross, another point for me. So this is a very sneaky person, someone who, say you're going on a date with them, they're going half with you, they're trying to overstep your boundaries, they're trying to get you to drink more, they want to be able to cross your boundaries, and they want to be able to financially abuse you over time, so you have narcissistic women that, will take more than what is given, because they're thinking to them, they're trying to fool you to take them out to eat, trying to fool you like they're serious about you. They knew from the start they weren't serious about you, but they just wanted that free date. Or that narcissist wants to go half, but then they really want to have sex with you, So narcissists, you guys, are always trying to be financially abusive in many different ways, where it's really, really, sometimes they can go undetected, because you're like, hey, we want to go here, but we don't really, this is a fresh start, and I don't want to put this much weight on this person. But then you have to also think about who's pursuing who. These people come at you like they're pursuing you, and now they're acting like they want you to take over someone else's place. Sometimes, the crazy part about the narcissist taking more than what you're willing to give is that they'll put you in a position or a good opportunity, and they'll be getting more out of it, but they'll choose you because they know that you were waiting for someone to help. You were waiting for a chance, right? So sometimes it can also go the opposite, where they're giving you things, they're giving you opportunities, and then next thing you know, you find out that something that you're doing, it's not legal, it's not legal. And now, they're expecting you to take the fall for it just because you should have been grateful, so it can go, both ways, but either way, they're always going to expect more, even when you don't know what's going on. And then they're trying to make you feel like the job description that they're giving you is something that you should be proud of doing. Like, you should be happy that you can do this. Like, you can't do it on your own. So they try to make you do things that maybe someone else was doing. And this is another way that they'll take more than what they're giving, because they're trying to make you do things. And that most likely that person's not doing them anymore, because they were taking more than what they were giving to them. So now they're transferring that onto you, and they're breadcrumbing you right along so that you can continue doing it even when they don't breadcrumb you anymore. There'll be periods of times as well with narcissists where, not only will they take more than what they're giving, but they won't give at all. Like, there's periods of times where the narcissist is juggling more than one news supply. And those periods of times where they have more than one source of supply, and it's like, 3, 4, and plus. Sometimes it's plus. Sometimes you think it's just another new supply, and sometimes it's multiple people. And what they're doing is that they're breadcrumbing every single person that they're with, every single new supply. And because now you've became a permanent supply, now they feel like and especially even if you're like, oh, they've never treated me bad before, they've counted how many things you've done for them already where they have exploited you, and it has added up to them. They've summed everything up, and they've said, oh, I've taken more fuel from them than they have from me, so now I won't feel used. It's all about them not feeling used and feeling like they got over on someone. So to them, it's like, okay, as long as I'm not getting used, now I can breadcrumb these other supplies. And if this primary source wants to leave me, then they can leave me. I don't care, because I'm juggling too much at this time. So you'll see that there'll be periods of times where they won't put out at all. I mean, they won't even make you a tuna sandwich. Like, they won't put out at all. It's an argument. If anything, they'll start stealing. If they could steal, they're going to steal. If they can get over on you, if they can take from you, if they could steal, they're going to do it, because when they start having more than one supply, they need to keep breadcrumbing. And a lot of times, like I said, if they feel like, hey, I'm not the one that got used, they'll discard you if you'll start complaining about their abuse, once they start, and then they'll start to try to financially abuse you and even more, because now they're trying to make it seem like you have to pay for their attention, because they're like, look, I'm breadcrumbing other people, I'm breadcrumbing the new supply, and I got me someone else on top of that. And my coworker is flirting with me, and my boss is flirting with me. So and I'm making good money over there. So guess what? I don't really need you anymore. I'm getting enough fuel from different people, from my new friends that I have, my new coworkers. So they're getting fuel from different supplies, and this is where a lot of times they'll discard you because they feel like they've already gotten over on you in many different ways. And now at this point, it's only like, I know I need to discard you. Usually I pick fights and argue with you to discard you, but I don't even feel like arguing with you. I don't even feel like doing that, because I'm so distracted with all these other sources of supply. So I don't even want to argue with you. I'm just going to take what I want, and if you want me to stay, you're going to have to pay for my time, because I'm breadcrumbing people, but I need to continue to breadcrumb them. And it'll be even better for me if you can use your money to breadcrumb them. And in case something goes bad, use your money to fuel me. And if everything goes left because I have financially abused you and you feel bad, if this doesn't work out, I'll just come back, because I know you'll be feeling bad about what I did to you. So basically, the narcissist soul ties themselves to you, and then, they start fornicating. They start having intimacy with other people, and now they naturally hate you. So this is why you're like, 1 minute they're love bombing you, and the next minute it's like they hate you. It's like they think like it's this type of hate that you're like, this isn't normal, and that's because they can't worship or be loyal to two people at the same time. So it's just this natural instinct in them to hate you, because they have a new shiny toy, not knowing that by them discarding you in the way that they do, they're only hurting themselves, because they haven't gave you closure, meaning that things are going to continue to go left. And this is why they keep you around, because they know, without giving you the clear closure that you need, that you will just be clueless about what's going on in your soul tie that you have to this person. And they know that you're going to be thinking that they're doing better even if they're not. And that's because I've told you guys many times that the narcissist, this is someone that's an outlaw. They're running away. They're going from person to person. And when they come into your life, they come to contaminate you, meaning that when they leave, you're not the same. You can't just move on to another person, even if you try, because your soul is tied to that person. So the narcissist knows that, and this is why they always come back around. They almost feel like they can come around years later. The narcissists, they feel like, they rescued you in a way. They almost look at you like, hey, you were going to be fried fish anyway. So because of their own sin and their own hatred, they're looking at it like, who cares if you have to keep reliving the trauma, really reliving, certain scenarios and bad energy because of me, because I've created blockages in your life in order for me to gain energy, because I'm an energy vampire. That's what I do. That's my description. So they could care less, this is why the longer you stay with them and the more you keep going back and forth with them, it gets worse. You can free yourself by stepping away from these people, but the narcissist keeps their lock on you. They keep their chains on you. They keep their tabs on you. They keep their flying monkeys on you. They keep circling around. They keep sending you messages just so that you could even think about them. They're like, I need that energy. If you came across in my path, this is what I'm supposed to do. This is what I'm here for. They're giving you stolen objects from the past. They're re-giving you gifts and then expecting you to give to them and then stealing those gifts back. Sometimes they'll humiliate you because they'll invite you places and they'll expect you to pay more than what they're paying. Sometimes they expect you to pay the whole thing. They try to put you on the spotlight. Another thing that they might do is, and this could be a friend too, you're telling them, hey, I really, we can go get something real quick. I'm not trying to spend that much money. And then you feed into it, and then they're buying a whole bunch of stuff. And, the bill comes and they're like, oh, the right thing to do is split it. But they're playing games, they're using etiquette to exploit you. They're using etiquette, but at the same time, they're trying to exploit you and humiliate you in front of people even, so these are basically scam artists, and it goes undetected if you don't pay attention to it, and this is, another way that they take more than what you're willing to give them. A lot of times the narcissist breadcrumbs you, and they're breadcrumbing you because of the sex that you're being intimate with them. So they're looking at it like, I'm going to put a price tag on what you're offering me. So you might think it's nothing. You're not really, the narcissist isn't exploiting you, but in their mind, when they're breadcrumbing you, they're like, oh, this is what you're getting from me, and this is what you're getting because, I'm sexually exploiting you, but you're not putting any value on yourself. So this is the value I'm giving you. You don't think, you tell yourself that you're not a whore, you're not all these things. That's fine. Well, I'll give you a price because I don't have empathy, and, being intimate is just being intimate. So the narcissist will take more than what they're willing to give by getting into your spirit, into your mind, you transferring, energy through intimacy. This is why, it's very important for you to know your own value, because if you don't know your own value, the narcissist will always take more than what you're willing to give. And you won't even know that you gave so much away because you didn't know your own value. And, while you're going in and out of that cycle, you can't process what's going on. if you talk to many people that you feel are strong, and you're like, how did they get through this? Because they act like they never went through it. That's because it's a process. So you cannot process certain things while you're in that situation. So once you leave, you realize that they put a price value on you, and it was real cheap. So I'm sending you guys lots of love, light, peace, and your healing. If you guys want to book with me, my booking information is on the description. Just give me 24 hours to respond to you. And as always, if you guys are new to this channel, do not forget to subscribe. And I'm sending you guys lots of love, light, peace in your healing journey. And I will talk to you guys on the next one. Love you guys. Bye.